Hello, hello. So glad you are here. So I haven't done one of these videos in a little bit, but today I'm going to be doing a Christian perspective advice video, a little bit about mental health. This was a request I received. Mental health is obviously a super multifaceted topic. So I'm gonna just cover a few things that were on my heart to cover. So specifically hard times, whether you're going through a really difficult period, whether you're facing a loss, overthinking, comparing yourself, and how should we approach work, things that we have to do in life. And just some general quotes about waiting on God. So I'm going to start with Isaiah 35:10, which says, "Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal." Again, earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. And a big reason why I find so much purpose and peace in Christianity and in God is because I have hope in something beyond this earth. I have hope and strength in something beyond this earth. So again, earth has no sorrow, whatever you're going through, that heaven can't heal. And it's amazing what having hope in heaven will do for your life. And then in Jeremiah 29:11, it says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you." Or another translation says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, thoughts or plans of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope." So our God is a loving God. He is a merciful God. And He only wants the best for you. And unfortunately, we live in a harsh, cruel world. So despite the things that happen to you in this world, just know the Lord has plans to prosper you, plans to bring you peace and future and hope and purpose, as it says in Jeremiah. And so many characters of the Bible go through horrible times. Whatever you're going through, someone in the Bible probably went through a version of that, and God carried them through. So I find hope in that. And then 2 Corinthians 1:3-4 says, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God." It's really beautiful because the church is not a building. The church is the people. The church is the Christians that come together. And as the church, as a Christian, it is our responsibility to also comfort those just how God comforts us. So, and this is Christian to Christian and Christian to non-Christian. We are called to love everyone, love others, love our enemies. And you know, you can be subtle with it, and whenever someone asks you, the Bible tells us to be prepared with an answer. So when someone asks you, like, how did you get through this, or how did you stay so strong through this, you can say, you can attest, because I have God, because I have the compassion and the comfort of God. So you helping others may potentially lead them to the strength of God as well, and then they'll help others as well. So it's a beautiful thing. The shortest verse in the Bible, this is pretty famous for being the shortest verse, it's 2 words. It's John 11:35, and it says, "Jesus wept." And you can go to that chapter and read the story, but overall these 2 words just have so much meaning because Jesus came to earth, he came down, and he was fully God yet fully human. So he saw others experience the pains of this world. He felt our pain, he experienced our pain, he experienced our tears. So Jesus is so empathetic and compassionate and will weep with you. He understands what you're going through, and he experienced it, which is so amazing. So John 11:35, Jesus wept. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about overthinking. This is something I have struggled with so much ever since I've grown closer to God in my faith journey. I've honestly experienced such freedom from overthinking. I still overthink, I still have my moments, but I've experienced so much more freedom being close to God. The Proverbs 31 woman is a pretty well-known verse for women, girls to refer to of how to live our lives. And one of my favorite verses of the Proverbs 31 woman is, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future, which is so the opposite of overthinking and what fear of the future is, because when you overthink, you're fearful, you're scared, you're stressed out. But I pray for you, may the peace of God be so strong in your life. May your faith be so strong in God that you can laugh without fear of the future. You can just trust in God that no matter what life throws at you, no matter what you have to go through or will go through, God will be with you, and you can have so much more peace in your overthinking. Psalms 46:5 says, God is within her, she will not fail. So if you're someone like me, you fear failure, failure is just this ever-present threat on your mind, you will not fail. It doesn't say, oh, you might not fail, or you probably won't fail. No, if God is within you, you will not fail. And that's not saying in worldly terms you will fail or you will fall short and all those things, but you have hope, like I mentioned earlier, in something beyond this world, and you have hope in God's purpose for your life, something greater than this world can offer you. So you will not fail no matter what. God is with you. He has a purpose for you. Even the little worldly failures you face is not true failure, because you are not defeated by the failures of the world. And again, returning to Jeremiah 29:13, it says, seek Jesus. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Faith is believing without seeing, and sometimes that can be difficult because you really want to feel close to God, and you might be like, where are you, Jesus? I'm trying to find you. And this verse affirms that if you seek him with all your heart and you keep seeking and seeking him, you will find him. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, God is leading me day by day. He will tell me what I need to know when I need to know it. So sometimes I get so caught up in worries that are even years in the future, even months in the future from now. And this verse affirms, God will tell you what you need to know when you need to know it. You don't need to worry how those things in the far off future are going to get resolved, or even the near future. He's leading you day by day. And right now, you're probably living in something that past you prayed for. There's so many things now that past me used to pray and pray and pray for, and now I'm living in it. But sometimes I find myself, instead of appreciating the prayer I'm literally living within now, I'm already worried about the next thing, the next prayer, the next worry in my life. And also, tomorrow is not promised. So God gave me another day today. He's going to tell me what I need to know when I need to know it. And I need to enjoy every moment of the prayer I'm literally living in right now. Next, I'm going to talk about comparing yourself to others. This is something we naturally tend to do as humans. It's something that social media makes even worse. But no, in Galatians 1:10, it says, "Am I trying to win the approval of men or God, or am I trying to please men?" And this is generalized, men and women, people. "If I were still trying to please men, I would not be a servant of Christ." So it can be so easy to get caught up in the opinions of others, what they think of you. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to win the approval of God. No one is in charge of my salvation and my personhood except for me. So why would I live for others? Why would I live for what others think of me? Why would I live for their approval? Because they're not going to be facing God one day. For me, it's just like, you can study with someone all you want for school, but they're not taking your test for you. You're taking your test. No one can take your test for you. No one can live your life for you. So I find peace in winning and living for the approval of God, not others. And then another verse from Proverbs 31:30 is, "Charm is deceptive and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised." And building off on this, God did not make you to be someone else. He made you to be you. He made you to be you perfectly. He designed you. Every aspect of your appearance, God designed you. And He gave you your dreams, He gave you your gifts, He gave you your talents. And He didn't make you to be someone else. He made you to be you. And again, charm, beauty, all of that are very worldly things. And it does not last. Again, tomorrow's not promised. We're going to get old. We're going to evolve. Anything can happen. So what's most important is the beauty of the soul, and a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. So the Lord values your soul and your heart, and at the end of the day, that's what shines through. That's what makes you beautiful from the inside out. When people say you're beautiful from the inside out, that is the most amazing kind of beauty. And then now I'm going to talk a little, just one verse about work. Life is a lot of work. It's a lot of things that we probably don't want to do, we have to do. But Colossians 3:23-24 gives me a lot of encouragement, because it says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." So again, even though you may be working for your boss, you may be working for a paycheck, you may be working for your family, you may be turning in a paper for your teacher, for your professor, even though you're doing that in this world, you're doing it for another human, you're also doing it for God. And at the end of the day, everything you do is ultimately for God. So whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord. So, I really don't want to go to work today. I really don't want to write this paper today. But then I reframed my mindset and I was like, no, I'm going to be diligent and be disciplined for Jesus. I'm going to write this paper. I'm going to clock into work as if I'm doing these things for Jesus, for the Lord. And the Lord will reward you. God sees you. And that's what I want to emphasize, is sometimes it can feel so lonely and isolating making the right choice in life, following the right path in life, because sometimes you may look at other people and be like, they are so rewarded, they are so blessed, they are so fulfilled, and they're following this not righteous path. And you're over here and you're really trying to follow a righteous path, and you feel that you're not being rewarded and your work is just not paying off, all these things. But God sees you, and God knows. He sees every right decision you make. He sees every good thing you do. He sees every time you love others. So be patient. Your blessing is coming. And again, you have hope in something beyond this world, because earthly treasures are going to go away, status goes away, all of that. So whether God rewards you in this life or the next, you will be rewarded. He sees you, and you can find joy in being righteous for Him and knowing that in some way you'll be rewarded. And it's not that you're doing it for rewards per se, but it's just comforting to know that God sees you, even when you feel like nobody is acknowledging you, no one is seeing your work. God is. So I could talk more about that, but hopefully you get my point there. So just some general quotes is, sometimes God doesn't change your situation because He's busy changing you. So sometimes, again, we can get caught up, if this happens, then I will be happy. If I can get this job, if I can move to this place, if I can be with this person, I'll be happy. And then sometimes you'll get to the next place and you still don't feel fulfilled. You still don't feel at peace, or maybe you're just stuck in the place, you can't get to the next place. But that's because God is still working on you. Your environment may change, your day-to-day may change, but He's still working on you. That's happened recently, where it's like I kind of thought, oh well, when I reach this point, this season of my life will change, I'll be in a new season. But no, God is still working on me. No matter where I am, He's still working on me in this season, and I can just feel it. So sometimes God doesn't change your situation because He's busy changing you. And sometimes a delay in your plans is God's protection. So something you think you really want and you think is the right thing, you may not get. But really, it's because God's protecting you. God knows the ins and outs of that situation that you thought you really, really wanted, and He's protecting you. What God sends you will arrive in clarity, not confusion. And this is so resonant for me because in the Bible it says so many times, God is peace, God is love, God is all good things. So when you're faced with something and you feel really weird about it, you feel confused, you feel fearful, you feel uncertain, it's probably not from God, because God brings you peace, and what He sends you, it'll be clear. You'll have clarity and you'll know. Because when people say God speaks to them, it's not necessarily that they're hearing this audible voice. It's almost this tangible clarity and peace that you know it's from God. And like I said earlier, be patient. Sometimes you have to go through the worst to get to the best, and your blessing is coming. If you feel alone right now, God sees you right where you're at. And live today like Jesus is coming tomorrow. We don't know the day or the hour, but Jesus is coming back. So why live a day where by the end of the day you would be ashamed if Jesus came that night, or living in a way where Jesus came right now, you wouldn't be ready for Him. So live today like Jesus is coming tomorrow. So always be ready, for we don't know the day or the hour. And a Zach Bryan quote from one of his songs is, "The devil can scrap, but the Lord has won." So know whatever you're going through, whatever evils, whatever pain, whatever trials, the Lord has already won. And the devil's trying to scrap. He's trying to get in your head. He's trying to get in your life, but the Lord has ultimately won, and you can go into every situation and problem in your life knowing that in your heart. When Jesus died on the cross and rose again after 3 days, the devil lost, the Lord won, forever, permanently, for good. And He's coming back. Jesus is coming back. And I just want to leave you with this. May every anxious thought you have today bow to God's overflowing peace and protection. May every anxious thought you have today bow to God's overflowing peace and protection. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope I see you in the next one.